Yo, what's up everybody? It's me, Robert Muraine, and welcome back to Reactions and Critiques, the show where you submit your dance videos in the comments, and then I react and critique them. Let's get into it. Welcome back, y'all. This is episode 8, and I was planning on doing something special for episode 10. That is the live stream version of Reactions and Critiques. So basically, in the chat, you guys will be able to submit your links directly and won't have to wait in some crazy 30-episode line and somehow speed up the process and make it more interesting. It's been 10 episodes, and the view count is gradually going down, and I needed to somehow spice it up. So after this and the next episode, expect something a little bit different on the channel again. So that being said, let's get into this first video. The first video is coming from Shruti Jadhav. Let's react and critique your video. I like what you're wearing and how that coordinates with the background. I don't know if you meant to do that, but it looks really cool. It looks like an IKEA commercial or something. Got some speed changes going on. Real quick waves. I like your choice of music too.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
A lot of motion with the arms and the hands. Speed changes. It's hard not to dance like that to this kind of music. You want to hit all these like moments in the space in between the beats.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Alright bro, I'm gonna stop it right here. Thanks for submitting your video. The first thing that I'd like about your video, like I said in the beginning of the video, was the background and what you're wearing. You really pop out in the scene. And I like your use of speed changes. I mean, it was one of the things that you were primarily doing throughout the whole video, and you do it pretty well. One thing that I would work on is using other parts of your body besides your arms. Maybe add some hip movement, maybe add some footwork, learn how to twist or flex, learn how to groove. Maybe watch some of the other reaction and critique videos. That way you can get an idea of some of the tips that I gave some of the other dancers that have just started dancing. And maybe you could take a few of these tips and apply them to your own dance. So another tip I would like to give you is with your waves, your arm waves in particular, you seem to always be leading with your elbows, and that's okay. You do these waves that go outwards, and that's really cool. But if you added your shoulders up into the mix, it would really help create a more dynamic wave look and experience for whoever's watching. So let me demonstrate just a little shoulder roll, and this was a technique that was given to me by Wave-O-Matic, OG Wave-O-Matic, rest in peace. He's a good friend of mine, and he was a great teacher that taught lots of beginning dancers, lots of basic techniques to help get them started on their journey for dancing. One of them being shoulder rolls, and this is a basic waving concept. Now, the way that you can practice this is putting your arms down and rolling one shoulder back, isolating that, and then rolling one shoulder forward, and then isolating that. Then do the opposite, one back, one forward, one back, one forward. What it's going to look like is that, and what it is a little roll of the shoulders. And now you can also do different variations of these two positions. You can go 2 forwards or 2 backs. And when you combine this with your arm wave, say if you're doing those waves that I saw you doing in your video where you were going outwards, you could actually roll your shoulders first and then go into your elbows, then to your wrists and your fingers. So Shruti, I hope that tip helps. You don't need to apply it to your style, but I think it would definitely make your waves a little bit more dynamic. And anyone out there that didn't know about the shoulder rolls, you do now. So let's get into this next video. The next video is coming from Shieve Smith. Let's react and critique this video.
Sonic Man 874 coming to you with another dancing video. Let's do this. Some smooth jazz.
This is smooth jazz. I liked your little intro. I don't think I've ever heard anyone talk before the intro of their dance video. Very clever. You have really, really great waves already. I'm liking what I'm seeing. And the music that you decided to dance to, your smooth jazz, is not your typical popping music. And I like what you're doing to it. I like how you get lost in what you're doing. Like you're really feeling it, you're into it. Not thinking, but enjoying. Very intricate tuts as well. And I'm not going to mention this again, but I think your hat is distracting. It's blocking your shapes. But with your waves, it kind of works. But when you're doing the tuts, it kind of gets in the way. But I'm being picky here because you obviously have good waves and good tuts. How are you wearing flip-flops, man? There's this epidemic of people not wearing shoes when they dance anymore. What's going on out there? New generation. Wear some shoes.
Alright, that's enough for you guys for now.
Alright, that was tight though. Shieve, I don't know how to say it, but respect. That was actually a really, really nice representation of waving and tutting. Really great stuff. And I like how you were dancing to smooth jazz. That's like really out there and you made it work. Let's get into these critiques. So the first thing that I think that you could add to your style and that would help would be to move your hips a little bit more and maybe some more footwork. You have all these really intricate techniques with your arms, and it would be cool if your legs and hips shared some similar attributes as what your arms can do, because if you had that, then you would really be a full package. And another thing that I would point out, and I'm being critical here because like I said, you obviously have some foundation going on, would be be aware of what your head and what your face is doing while you're dancing, because you tend to get lost in what you're doing, which is really cool, but sometimes it would be cool if you let the audience know that you didn't forget about them, I guess you could say. And I'll leave it simple just like that, and you can interpret that the way you want to. But don't forget that there's your audience there and that there's a camera, and you can communicate with them. So thank you very much, Shieve, for submitting, and let's get into the last video. The last video is coming from Raul Akkad, and he submitted on Instagram. Let's react and critique your video.
Baby, be the class clown. I'll be the beauty queen in tears. It's a new
Dancing in the bathroom. No shoes on. What's going on?
Even when we're smiling out of fear. Let's go down to the tennis court.
It says dime stop practice, and that's what I'm seeing.
Talk it up like yeah. And talk it up like yeah. Let's go down to the tennis court and talk it up like yeah. And talk it up like yeah. And talk it up like yeah. Let's go down to the tennis court and talk it up like yeah.
Got that future bass going with the horse. Got some nice isolation going on. Okay, we're done already. This is why I don't like reviewing Instagram videos. They're just too short. Alright, so I like that you're in the bathroom and the no shoes makes sense in this context, so I can't really say anything there. It's just funny that there's so many people that don't dance with shoes anymore. So aside from that, I like the aesthetic of your video. I like your glasses and the whole look with the black and white. It works with the music, it works just composition wise, it works. Now your dancing is pretty decent. I mean, you did say that it is dime stop practice and you're doing just that. You're practicing your dime stops and I can't really say anything bad about that, so respect. You have some good dime stops. Now what I would say, the critiques, is that you could expand on your dime stopping and roboting beyond your arms. Like I said in the first and the second video of this episode, is that you should work on your pelvis and your hips a little bit more. Let me demonstrate. So right here you're using a lot of arm stuff and you have like this little torso movement sometimes and a little bit of head movement, which is cool. But man, imagine if you took 2 steps and then did something with a bigger dynamic movement. You would keep the audience more entertained if you used bigger movements instead of all of these little intricate moves the whole entire time. Now, not to say that little small intricate movements and details aren't important, but if you mix the 2 different things together, then you would be more dynamic, which I keep saying in all of these episodes because it's something that a lot of newer dancers seem to lack, is going small and then getting really big, or then playing small waves and then going super big. And that's what I mean by dynamic. It's having a broad range of motion and a broad range of speed and a broad range of different elements in your dancing, not just always one thing, one style. Arms only with small movements, or only hits facing forward. Open up, play around with all of the concepts that you learn. They aren't meant to be faced forward in a mirror or performed just for one perspective. You can use the space around you, use your body, use dynamic in your dance. And this tip is for everybody. All 3 of your videos, all 3 of you guys for some reason actually need to work on exactly the same things. Use your hips, groove, feel the music, be more dynamic, and use the space around you. Be aware of your audience. And all of these concepts, you don't really need to think about so much. They're easy already for you. So stop practicing what you're good at and start practicing what you're not good at. And I'll leave it at that. Keep that in mind, practice what you're not good at, and that will make you a better dancer in the long run. So that was the last video for this episode. I hope you guys learned something in this episode, and if you're new here and you just submitted your video and you've only watched this one episode, go back and watch the other ones. There's so much valuable beginner tips that you will just not learn anywhere else, honestly, because there's not many dancers that give away this kind of information for free. And if you don't have real poppers in your neighborhood or around you locally, then this is going to be the easiest way to learn. And just take the 10 minutes, go back in the back catalog of reactions and critiques, and watch the videos. Skip through the dancers if you don't want to watch them, but watch the tips, because I think they're good tips. And another thing I was thinking about, let me know in the comments what you guys think of this idea. I was going to compile all of the little tips that I give at the end of each video into one overall lesson at the end of 10 episodes, and kind of have like a lesson review for the last 10 episodes. So I hope this idea might sound interesting to some people, because I think I'm gonna do that just so that way you don't have to watch 10 episodes to get all of this information, and you can just watch it in 5 minutes, and then bam, you have 20 different new techniques that you can apply right away to your dancing. So I don't know how this series is gonna work in the future, because I'm starting to see that tutorials might be a better idea in the end of the day, but this is a cool learning experience not only for you guys, but for me as well, because I'm gathering all my thoughts and all my techniques and getting them out there on video and then watching myself explain it, watching what you guys think about them, and then I have an idea of how to mold it together into an all-inclusive and concise tutorial online. So hopefully you'll see more tutorials on the channel, and if you haven't checked out the leg behind the head tutorial, my first tutorial, you should go check that out. And thank you all again for tuning in, for submitting your dance videos, and for supporting my channel. So if you haven't already, please subscribe. If you haven't already, please like this video and leave any comments or feedback that you might have down below. So that's it for today, and until next time, peace out.